Hello everyone and welcome back, and I'm Serge.
And I'm Soren.
Hey, wait a minute. Did we just ask the Clarius to mirror the image? Because we are flipped.
We are flipped. That is a nice feature on the new Clarius. You can give it voice commands and flip the image. That wasn't intentional that we flipped, but hey, we're going to go with it.
That's okay. This is my better profile anyways. Okay, so now, like we said, we're going to be talking about the different pathologies that we can find using pleural space and lung ultrasound. We've already talked about pneumothorax. Now let's talk about alveolar interstitial syndrome, AIS. What are the top two things you're going to be looking at when we're looking at the lung surface?
So we are looking essentially for two different things. We're going to look for increased B lines, vertical white artifacts that extend to the far field, move back and forth from the lung surface with respirations. And we're going to look for lung consolidation. And what do those represent? Alveolar interstitial syndrome, like you mentioned, any decrease in aerated lung at the periphery. Anything that decreases that aeration of lung at the periphery of the lung will result in B lines and consolidation.
That's right. And just like a radiograph, you're not going to look at just one spot on the radiograph. You want to scan as much of the pleural space and lung that you can using the ultrasound. Same thing for radiograph. When you look at radiograph, you're not going to look at just one spot.
Absolutely. And then you're going to tie that all together with your plus profiles, put all the pieces of the puzzle together, the lung surface and pleural space pathologies that you see, to interpret it in light of clinical findings. So why don't we go ahead and scan Daisy's thorax here and look at the lung surface.
That's right. So we're going to go border to border to border to border. It's not mysterious. So again, just to be thorough, we're going to start right behind that cranial border, halfway to 2/3 of the way up, so that we are sure we are over lung. And then once we are sure we are over lung, we could see there's our glide sign down there and some bad signs. We can decrease the depth a little bit there. And let me see if I can get that image just a little bit better there. There we go. We could see there the glide sign. I'm going to decrease our gain a little bit. There we go. Now we could see that we have a shimmer. We have a glide sign. So I'm right at that cranial border. So now I'm going to start sliding back until we see that curtain sign, and there it is right there. I'm going to increase our depth there, so we'll make sure we're over it, and increase our gain there, and we go. So now I went cranial border, caudal border, and now I'm going to go all the way to her caudal dorsal border. Boom. I've lost that pleural line in the hypaxia muscles, our dorsal border. We're going to come back down, and like we did with the pneumothorax, we're going to see if we have a glide sign here. We can see the curtain sign there. We have a glide sign. I'm at the highest point of the chest. Now I am ready to go border to border to border. So now I am caudodorsal, so I'm going to start sliding the probe and looking at that lung surface for either B lines or consolidations. And we do this pretty quickly, Dr. Boysen.
Absolutely, and we're going to scan that dorsal third until we hit that front limb,
right there,
which will stop us, like Serge has reached now. We didn't see any B lines or consolidations, so at this point now, Serge is going to go to the mid-thoracic region, again looking for B lines and consolidations as he goes more ventral.
That's right.
We didn't see any, and then at that spot, he's going to come back, and this is where the chest gets even smaller, so he's going to hit that curtain sign very quickly, like you see here again.
That's right.
So we scan the dorsal third for surface pathology, we scan the middle third for surface pathology. Now we're going to scan the ventral region for surface pathology.
That's right. So here we go. I'm going to be at that curtain sign again, and I'm going to find that curtain. There it is. And I'm going to follow it all the way down until we try to get the heart and the diaphragm in the same window. And in cats, that's not always obvious to do. But there we go. We can see the heart on the left and the diaphragm with the liver on the right. And we have a small mediastinal triangle of fat in between them. So that's how you know you're at the lowest point of the chest. And then I can finish my scanning of the ventral areas looking for alveolar interstitial disease. Usually what we could do though at this point is rotate the probe parallel to the ribs. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're parallel to the ribs. It's important to know your anatomy on here. On the right, we're going to have the sternal muscles. On the left, we have the lung, and we can see the glide sign there.
Absolutely. I see no anechoic fluid separating the sternal muscles from the lungs ventrally, which would suggest pleural effusion. And I saw no B lines or shred signs or consolidations to suggest that we have actual lung surface pathology here.
That's right. And then what we do is we scan between the ribs, moving cranially up and down, looking for that alveolar interstitial disease. And there we go. And that is how we scan the lung for alveolar interstitial disease, looking for an increased number of B lines or lung consolidations.
Absolutely. So we got one more other thing we'll look at. We covered it a bit here with that pleural effusion, but we'll look more specifically at how we identify pleural effusion in our next session.
That's right. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Till next time.